Penguin Random House Audio presents The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. Foreword by John Ortberg. This is the author, John Mark Comer. For Dallas Willard, thank you.
Foreword by John Ortberg. Read by Chris Koshesky. The smartest and best man I have known jotted down some thoughts about hurry. I think they were posted in his kitchen when he died. Hurry, he wrote, involves excessive haste or state of urgency. It is associated with words such as hurl, hurtle, hurly-burly, meaning uproar, and hurricane. He defined it as a state of frantic effort one falls into in response to inadequacy, fear, and guilt. The simple essence of hurry is too much to do. The good of being delivered from hurry is not simply pleasure, but the ability to do calmly and effectively, with strength and joy, that which really matters. We should take it as our aim, he wrote, to live our lives entirely without hurry. We should form a clear intention to live without hurry, one day at a time, trying today. We should form a mental picture of our place in the world before God. This places us in a different context. Psalm 23 does not say, "The Lord is my shepherd, therefore I gotta run faster." Shepherds rarely run, good ones anyway. He said to begin to eliminate things you have to do. He said it was important to not be afraid of doing nothing. He said to plan on such times. He said it would be important to deal with the panic of not being busy, to allow yourself to be in the panic, feeling it roll over you, and not going for the fix. John Mark Comer has written a prophetic word for our day. He is engaging and honest and learned and fun and humble. He guides us to a great crossroads. To choose to live an unhurried life in our day is somewhat like taking a vow of poverty in earlier centuries. It is scary. It is an act of faith. But there are deeper riches on the other side. To be in the presence of a person where hurry has, like Elvis, left the building, is to be inspired about the possibility of another kind of life. I was struck by the gifts of wisdom studded throughout this book. All my worst moments are when I'm in a hurry. Love, joy, and peace are incompatible with hurry. The average iPhone user touches his or her phone 2,617 times a day. By way of contrast, the psalmist said, "I have set the Lord always before me." Psalm 16, verse 8, ESV. What would my life be like if God touched my mind as frequently as I touch my phone? Freedom, perhaps, never comes without great cost. And John Mark is someone who has made choices that involved a price, to pursue the life that is beyond price. He knows both the struggle and the choice, and so can speak to those of us who hunger and thirst. 20 centuries ago, another wise man said, "Make the best use of the time, because the days are evil." Ephesians 5, verse 16, ESV. I used to think that meant the days are full of sensuality and fleshly temptation, and of course they are. But I think it mostly means that the life we were intended to live must be lived in time. And we are so used to spiritually mediocre days, days lived in irritation and fear and self-preoccupation and frenzy, that we throw our lives away in a hurry. So in this audiobook lies the great invitation. Take a deep breath. Put your cell phone away. Let your heart slow down. Let God take care of the world.
Prologue, Autobiography of an Epidemic. It's a Sunday night, 10 p.m., head up against the glass of an Uber, too tired to even sit up straight. I taught 6 times today. Yes, 6. The church I pastor just added another gathering. That's what you do, right? Make room for people. I made it until about talk number 4. I don't remember anything after that. I'm well beyond tired, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. When we first went to 6, I called up this megachurch pastor in California who'd been doing 6 for a while. "How do you do it?" I asked. "Easy," he said. "It's just like running a marathon once a week." "Okay, thanks." Click. Wait, isn't a marathon really hard? I take up long-distance running. He has an affair and drops out of church. That does not bode well for my future. Home now, late dinner, can't sleep, that dead tired but wired feeling. Crack open a beer, on the couch watching obscure kung fu movie nobody's ever heard of, Chinese with subtitles. Keanu Reeves is the bad guy. Love Keanu. I sigh. Lately, I'm ending most nights this way, on the couch, long after the family's gone to bed. Never been remotely into kung fu before. It makes me nervous. This is the harbinger of mental illness on the horizon. It all started when he got obsessed with indie martial arts movies. But the thing is, I feel like a ghost, half alive, half dead, more numb than anything else, flat, one-dimensional. Emotionally, I live with an undercurrent of nonstop anxiety that rarely goes away, and a tinge of sadness, but mostly I just feel blah spiritually, empty. It's like my soul is hollow. My life is so fast, and I like fast. I'm type A, driven, a get crap done kind of guy, but we're well past that now. I work 6 days a week, early to late, and it's still not enough time to get it all done. Worse, I feel hurried, like I'm tearing through each day, so busy with life that I'm missing out on the moment. And what is life but a series of moments? Anybody? I can't be the only one. Monday morning, up early, in a hurry to get to the office, always in a hurry. Another day of meetings. I freaking hate meetings. I'm introverted and creative, and like most millennials, I get bored way too easily. Me and a lot of meetings is a terrible idea for all involved. But our church grew really fast, and that's part of the trouble. I hesitate to say this because, trust me, if anything, it's embarrassing. We grew by over 1,000 people a year for 7 years straight. I thought this was what I wanted. I mean, a fast-growing church is every pastor's dream, but some lessons are best learned the hard way. Turns out, I don't actually want to be the CEO, executive director of a nonprofit, HR expert, strategy guru, leader of leaders, etc. I got into this thing to teach the way of Jesus. Is this the way of Jesus? Speaking of Jesus, I have this terrifying thought lurking at the back of my mind, this nagging question of conscience that it just won't go away. Who am I becoming? I just hit 30, level 3, so I have a little time under my belt, enough to chart a trajectory to plot the character arc of my life a few decades down the road. I stop, breathe, envision myself at 40, 50, 60, and it's not pretty. I see a man who is successful, but by all the wrong metrics. Church size, book sales, speaking invites, social stats, etc., and the new American dream, your own Wikipedia page. In spite of all my talk about Jesus, I see a man who is emotionally unhealthy and spiritually shallow. I'm still in my marriage, but it's duty, not delight. My kids want nothing to do with the church. She was the mistress of choice for Dad, an illicit lover I ran to hide from the pain of my wound. I'm basically who I am today, but older and worse, stressed out, on edge, quick to snap at the people I love most, unhappy, preaching a way of life that sounds better than it actually is. Oh, and I'm always in a hurry. Why am I in such a rush to become somebody I don't even like? It hits me like a freight train. In America, you can be a success as a pastor and a failure as an apprentice of Jesus. You can gain a church and lose your soul. I don't want this to be my life. Fast forward 3 months, flying home from London, spent the week learning from my charismatic Anglican friends about life in the Spirit. It's like a whole other dimension to reality that I've been missing out on. But with each mile east, I'm flying back to a life I dread. The night before we left, this guy Ken prayed for me in his posh English accent. He had a word for me about coming to a fork in the road. One road was paved and led to a city with lights. Another was a dirt road into a forest. It led into the dark, into the unknown. I'm to take the unpaved road. I have absolutely no idea what it means, but it means something. I know it. As he said it, I felt my soul tremor under God. But what is God saying to me? Catching up on email, planes are good for that. I'm behind, as usual. Bad news again. A number of staff are upset with.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?